4,500. Hey, good morning. This is Viet Maxim from Orange County, California. Who do I have with me online this morning? This is an emergency live streaming here. Can you guys hear me? BM. Hello. Sometimes I have problem with my mic, so let me know if you can hear me clearly. Crypto Night. Good morning. Steve. Good morning from Texas. Wow, I haven't seen you in a while. Tommy. Good morning. Woke up bleeding, huh? I am sorry. I think Bitcoin just going through a very normal and healthy retracement. If you watch a live stream I did like a couple days ago, I also follow up with a video on Bitcoin, so you may want to watch that. Um, Brother Brian, what's up, man? And your plane fell out of the sky, right? Hey, Steve, long time, man. BM from Hungary. Hey, how are you? What time is it over there? Must be around like midnight, isn't it? Deb, good morning. Well, one other thing is Canadian in Toronto. All right. It'd be great if Canadian in Orange County. But how are you? Dale, good morning. Yes, it is foggy in Southern California right now. 6 p.m. in Ukraine. Ali, Ali, I hope Bitcoin and DOT bounce from here. Otherwise, 51,000 in X. Well, one of the thing is like Polkadot. Polkadot is getting to be one of my favorite right now. So anytime when DOT is retracing, I am accumulating. This guy is a tremendous project. So right now, it is dropping below 40,000. So I'm no 40. So I'm starting to accumulate a little bit at a time. This guy will definitely bounce back. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's just like quickly go over Bitcoin. Last time when I did a detailed analysis for Bitcoin was like a couple days ago. The video is still on my channel, so if anybody who is new to my channel, you may want to here. Let me show you guys. It's on my channel at VitMaxim. I normally don't do analysis for Bitcoin because I don't particularly like Bitcoin, but I did this like 2 days ago. So this is a very detailed analysis. So if you want to find out what's going on with Bitcoin, I kind of like suggest that you would, you want to watch that video. But anyway, um, in a nutshell, Bitcoin has been trending up since it dropped all the way down to about 30,000. When we look at Bitcoin in a matter of like 2.5 months, it bounced up from 30,000 all the way up to about 70,000. So basically, Bitcoin, if you look at like, it's been trending up so much. And the key here is this. When Bitcoin was trending up, you see it followed this almost like vertical trend line. It was doing really well. And then now you're starting to see it losing steam. And that's why we are looking at Bitcoin has to go through this normal retracement right now in order to build momentum to support another run up. So in a nutshell, what we're looking at here is this. When Bitcoin ran up from 30,000 to about like 52,000, we look at about roughly 50% retracement. So just a quick rule of thumb, this retracement here is very healthy because right now Bitcoin is still very much in this uptrend. All of the indicators are still pointing to Bitcoin continue to trend up. But it been trending up following this channel here. So we expect to see Bitcoin doing something like this. Uptrend, but it has to go through this sort of like up and down cycle within this upward channel. And if we look at the projected kind of retracement for Bitcoin, I am looking at about 50% retracement. And that's why 2 days ago, I predicted that Bitcoin would retrace down to about 55,000. So for me, the retracement is just a very good opportunity to accumulate the altcoins that I love. I mean, right now, Celer Network is great. Polkadot is great. Um, let's see what else. Celer Network and Polkadot are two of my favorite right now. And obviously, in a little bit, I will get into like this Metaverse project. Yesterday, I was looking at a chart for Decentraland Mana, and I spotted that Decentraland is likely entering the second wave during the uptrend. I will go over this in a little bit, but Decentraland is going to run up to about 750. It is looking very strong. I mean, Decentraland and the Sandbox are two metaverse projects that I think has a lot of potential. I love Decentraland because I always been a fan of Axie Infinity, and I've been constantly looking for a new project that has the potential to be the next Axie or even bigger. I think Decentraland has that ability. I mean, it's getting so popular right now. The market cap is only about 6 billion. Axie is over 30 billion. Decentraland has a lot more um, um, potential, given the fact of just of the structure that Decentraland is compared to Axie. I mean, Axie is just a play to earn game. Decentraland is much more than that. I mean, it's a virtual reality kind of like virtual world. A lot of things you can do with Decentraland. So yesterday, I mean, I started accumulating since yesterday. So I tweeted on Twitter that when it was like at about like $3.30, and I am accumulating right now, even though it's been up. Yesterday, it ran up as high as like 380, but it's retracing a little bit right now because of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin retraces, everything retraces. But the minute Bitcoin stabilizes, I expect this thing to move up. So I will go over Mana and the Sandbox in a little bit. But let's go back to like Bitcoin because it's really important to find out what Bitcoin is doing right now. So I do expect to see Bitcoin eventually retrace down to about 55,000, but then it would bounce up, and the next time when it run up, it would hit around 85,000. Like I said before, I mean, if you are new to my channel, watch the Bitcoin video that I uploaded 2 days ago. Very detailed analysis. Now, here's one thing about Bitcoin is this. Bitcoin dropped below the red line, which is the 10 days moving average. And after that, we see this sort of like free fall. And then yesterday, it seemed like the white line, which is the 50 days moving average, is kind of like holding support. But today, so far, Bitcoin is trading below that. I mean, right now it is at about 58.2. So I kind of like hope, or I expect to see some sort of like rebound. And I expect to see Bitcoin run up and retest the 10 days before it retrace and eventually run up to about 55,000. I mean, that is what I expect. I don't expect to see Bitcoin continue this like free fall like this. I expect the 50 days to provide some sort of support because if we look at like the 1 hour chart, this is the 1 hour chart. The past 2 days, Bitcoin dropped down to about 58.4, and it been kind of like holding support at that. Today, it's dropped below that, but it's found support at its prior low here. So hopefully, this would be a stronger support line, and especially, I mean, that is also right at the 50 days. So I do expect some sort of rebound. I don't expect to see Bitcoin just like kind of like free fall like this. So I do expect to see Bitcoin bounce up. But then when it retests the 10 days moving average right at around this point here, I don't expect to see Bitcoin be able to cross over that. Because right now, Bitcoin definitely, I mean, it needs to retrace. It's been going up so much. There's, to me, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this retracement. I mean, it's just following this uptrend here. This is the upward channel. And as you can see, when it first ran up, it has to retest the support of the channel. It bounced up, test the resistance, and now it's whoa. Somehow, I mean, it has to touch the support of this upward channel here before it bounces up. So the trend is still very much intact, uptrend. And if we look at like all of this like moving averages, all this indicator, I mean, everything is still looking very bullish. We have the golden cross appear at this point, which is around the middle of September. And when we look at the 50 days, I mean, it continued to trend up. And the gap between the 50 days and the 200 days is just very wide, getting wider and wider. And the 10-day still leading the 50 days. And now Bitcoin is entering this like oversold. So I do expect Bitcoin to bounce up later on today. And it eventually in the next couple of days, it should bounce up and test this 10 days moving average. So that's what I see. And for me right now, when Bitcoin retrace, I mean the rest of this altcoin retrace, one of my favorite right now is Polkadot. Polkadot has been going up like crazy as well. And it is retracing and very much similar to Bitcoin. Right now, it's kind of like hovering right at the 50 days moving average, which is this white line. And for me, I am just accumulating a little bit at a time. And the minute it Bitcoin ever dropped down to about 55,000, and I expect to see Polkadot may retrace to about 35 or even lower, that is when I'm definitely going to go in a lot more. The thing that I know, like about Polkadot is like, if you buy Polkadot from Voyager, excuse me, they pay 12% interest. I mean, you got 12% interest, and Polkadot is a tremendous project. I mean, I like Polkadot even more than Solana right now. I mean, Solana is another one of my favorite projects. The thing is this, I look at like all of these major blockchains. Ethereum is the king right now. And Ethereum will continue to go up. But Ethereum, the market cap is just too high. On top of that, I mean, Ethereum is not really as efficient. I mean, we're still waiting for those major upgrade. That's why that's why recently you see like alternate blockchains like AVAX, Polkadot, Solana, they've been going up a lot. The reason is I believe that a lot of the money that's used to allocate to Ethereum is being pulled out and put these smaller blockchain projects. And I think Polkadot has the potential to rival Ethereum in the future. Steve, that sounds great. Just ping me. Dominate Bitcoin will go up to 68,793. That's yes. See, Bitcoin actually, what I think is, I do believe Bitcoin will retrace down to 55,000, and then it will bounce up, and the next wave would take it to 85,000. I mean, that's based on my projection. So I do believe that Bitcoin will continue to trend higher. Those night. All right, let's let's look at Dogecoin. When you look at Dogecoin back around like the end of October, I mean, there was a lot of excitement when you see this big spike up in price. But the problem with those lately is every time when there's a spike up in price, you got a lot of people selling it. The only reason that I can think of is you have, I mean, one of the things about those coins is beside the whales, the majority are just retail investors. And after Doge has kind of like been trading sideways for such a long time, many of the retail investors they got like frustrated, especially first time investors. So what happened is they kind of like lose patience. The minute they see a spike up in price, they dump, and that caused the price to retrace. The second time when we see the spike up here, I mean, that is when I believe that was the news relating to the upgrade of version 1.4.5 or whatever it is. That's right at around like November the 8th. We saw the spike up, but then after that, I mean, the price retraced right away. And during this time frame, Doge was trading, I mean, outside of the resistance of this symmetrical triangle that it's been building. And I myself was really excited because I believe that like Doge was due for a run up. But the problem is every time when the price spike up, I mean, people just dump it. So right now, when we look at Doge, it is re-entering this symmetrical triangle. But the key thing again is this. Now it's getting very near this apex. So once it get near this apex here, it either move this way or this way. I mean, it's not going to be trading sideways like this. So very soon we are going to see a major bounce or a big drop in price. Here is what I think. I think that it's very likely that those may not do much in the near term, but near the end of the year, especially one of the big catalysts is relating to the SpaceX project. I don't believe that those is done. I mean, the community is very strong, but retail investor cannot change, or I mean, I don't believe the retail investor have the power to move the price of Dogecoin. Dogecoin needs the well. And if we look at how the price have moved in the past, wells create this big pump. And I do believe that they are going to do it again. I mean, when is it? Maybe near the end of the year when it's getting very close to the apex of this symmetrical triangle here. So that is what I think about Doge. For me, I mean, Doge right now, it's really difficult because if you sell right now, you may be at a loss. So the only thing is to hang on. Um, and that's why for the past couple of days, I haven't done any update on those yet because, I mean, seriously, what else can I say about those except right now, it is entering this. Excuse me. One thing about me is like I don't say like I mean I don't give out like false hope just just to get people to watch my video. I mean there's nothing when there is no signal that could potentially tell me that Doge is on the process of moving up, um, then I don't do it. Another thing that worries me is right now, I mean, look like the 10 days moving average is about to cross and lag below the 50 days. And that's why I think we may see those doing even trending a little bit lower. But it's getting clear this apex. I mean, this year we're gonna see either one way or another, and the major catalyst is still the SpaceX Doge One project. So that what I think is will drive this. Well, I mean, last time when I look at like the top 100 wallets, I mean it's still very stable. So I think the well when they find the time is right, they will pump it, and that's what we need. As much as we don't like the well because they manipulate the price, but Dogecoin does need wells in order to drive up the price to get the retail investor to jump back in the bandwagon. So that is Dogecoin. Uh, Same thing with Shiba. I mean, if you guys watch my video, I've been saying that I don't expect Shiba to do anything for at least another 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, after this major spike up in price, Shiba right now retrade, and it has to be in this consolidation phase. So Shiba will be boring for a while. I mean, all I can say is like I watch video from other Shiba, I mean YouTubers on they keep on saying this and that Shiba is gonna bounce and I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean this chart is telling me that Shiba will be like this for a while. It's been trailing below the 10 days moving average and right now it's testing the 50 days. So there is no indications on this chart to tell me that Shiba is going to bow. It after a big run up, it has to go through this consolidation phase. So I mean, I know people already make a lot of money off Shiba, and if you guys follow me, I mean, I encourage people to take some off right when it was trading above zero point 0.6 because that was my target. So if you take some off the table, now is a good opportunity to be able to go in and accumulate it for much lower. And that's why I keep on saying about the 50/50 trading strategy. It does work really well. I mean, it worked for me when I did it with Doge, and if you look at like Shiba, the same thing. Even Solana, I mean, Solana is a great project. Um, and the last time I did a video on Solana, let me see here, right here, it was 4 days ago. And if you watch that video, I said the same thing. I said I expect Solana to retrade down even to about 290 because Solana is very much like Bitcoin. It's been running up so much. And when it run up so much like this, it has to go through this retracement because the Bollinger Band getting overextended. It has to retrace. So now if we look at Solana, I mean, here, the first time when it bounced up, let's go through this here. First time when it bounced up, you see it retrace here, roughly about 50% Fibonacci retracement. And then you have from this point to this high here, roughly another 50% retracement. So now let's see if we do this. Yeah, right at about 50% retracement at about 195 here. I mean, that's what it's doing right now. So, and Solana is a great project. It will bounce up again. So all of this retracement to me right now is a really good opportunity to accumulate in case you miss out. One thing about me, you guys know me by now. My number one rule is never buy. I mean, never chase after the bull because you always have the opportunity to accumulate. The thing is, like after this run, it has to get to the point where it's kind of like run out of steam. And the way to see that is when you look at the stochastic. I mean, the minute it's starting to entering this like overbought, then you see this sort of like retracing. And once it gets near the bottom, which is, I mean, we look at the average for a project like Solana, it's like 50%. Sometime it may retrace even more to like 61.8. But after that, you're going to see it stabilize and then start to bounce up. This is the best time to accumulate. Black Sniper, Sandbox, and the Decentraland are doing well. You're exactly right. I mean, the reason being is right now, the Decentraland really, I mean, all of the metaverse projects are doing really well. I am kind of like late getting into this, the Decentraland uh, um, or like the metaverse projects. I just started getting in since yesterday, but uh, I think the Sandbox is a good project. The only problem with the Sandbox is I believe like late December or something like that. That when a whole bunch of like coins that were allocated to the development team would be available. I mean, what is like the unlock period. So there's like millions of coins that this guy can dump. That's the only thing I don't like. But Decentraland, but the Sandbox is still doing well. I like I like Decentraland. Like I said before, I love the play to earn or this space. I mean, because I love Axie Infinity, and I always we've been trying to look for projects that has the potential to be the next Axie or even bigger. I do believe that Decentraland has the potential to be bigger than Axie. Why? Because Axie is just a very addicted play to earn game. Decentraland is much different. It has a lot more capabilities. I mean, this is whole thing is like a virtual world. And if you follow Decentraland, um, it is getting big. You're starting to see companies are actually buying virtual land within Decentraland. I mean, so there's just so many things that you can do with Decentraland. And even after this big spike up in price, the market cap for Decentraland right now is only $6 billion. And when you look at like Axie Infinity, Axie is oh, I thought like Axie is oh yeah, Axie it used to be like at fully diluted is 30 billion. So I mean, the Decentraland definitely has the ability to be much bigger than Axie. And when I look at this chart, after this big spike up, it retrace, consolidate, and every time when the price drop, it kind of like finds support right at this trend line. The Bollinger Band setting up, it getting ready to break out again. So I do believe that Decentraland is in the process for doing what I call is the second wave. If Bitcoin stabilize, we likely see, I mean, this thing pop by 10, 20, 30% at a time. And my target for this second wave is $7.50. And I'm working on a detailed analysis. I should be able to upload this video later on today. So, I mean, if anybody is interested in like Decentraland or Mana, look out for that video. And right now, I am still actively accumulate Decentraland. I like the Sandbox, but I think I'm gonna wait after like December to accumulate. I want to see what happened after the unlock period to see whether or not if they start dumping it or not. And also one of the things is like with the Sandbox, you have this like first wave and then it's retrace, consolidate, and now you're seeing the second wave because it's already crossed over the prior high. So I'm not chasing after this guy. But Decentraland is following the kind of like chart for the Sandbox. I mean, the first wave, it popped to almost $5. Consolidate, and now it is in the process of having the second wave here. Let's see, Brent Riley asking for your opinion. How long will it take for Bitcoin to hit that 50%? Well, when we look at the 50%, let me put that back, which is roughly right at around this point here. extend it to the high. All right, so we're looking at about 55,000. 55,000 is right at around this point here. In my analysis, I do expect to see Bitcoin bounce up. I do expect the 50-day to provide support. Right now, so far, it is kind of like in this free fall. But I still believe that later on today, it would likely bounce up and kind of like stabilize around this and then run up to retest this 10 days before it's kind of like drop. So even though, I mean, there's only about, what is it, like no, a little over 2,000 points between the 57.3 and the 55,000. I mean, my expectation is by the end of December to see that sort of like drop down to about 55,000. And even though right now, I mean, we see this free fall, I am still stick by that. I think it will find some support. I mean, the worst case scenario would be right at this point here, and then it would bounce up. It's hard for me to see a quick drop like that all the way down. I mean, unless we are in a bear market, and I don't think we are. So the thing is, like, whenever the market drops, especially with Bitcoin retrace like this, I mean, it does look scary. But what we have to do is put everything into perspective. And the way to do it is really looking at the chart. Right now, if we look at the chart, you can see the trend. It's still in this uptrend. Bitcoin is still very much oscillate within this upward channel. You look at the price, how it kind of like trades along this upward channel. I mean, the minute it tests the support, it bounce right back up. Whenever it hit the resistance, it got pushed down. Try again, got pushed down. 2 times it's tried. So now it is going through this process. But it's very hard to see it drop like that. I mean, nothing go up straight and nothing drop like that. It's more likely go like that. And then that is when it's going to hit my target. After it hit the target, then we'll likely see it go like that to 85,000. I mean, we are still in this bull market. We still have this golden cross. We still have the 10-day leading the 50-day, the 200 days. I mean, everything is still fine. So for me, this is a necessary kind of like retracement because nothing goes up like this. Otherwise, every one of us would be millionaire right now. The key for us is be able to decipher what's going on and then take advantage when it's near the top, take some off the table. I mean, normally that's my 50-50 trading strategy. I take 50% off once I see that it's near the top, and then I just patiently wait because it will retrace. Once it retraces to my target price, that's when I buy it all back, less the short-term capital gain tax. And that's what I'm doing with like Polkadot right now. Same thing with Polkadot. I also like Solana, and same thing with Solana. Um, Celer Network, I mean, after this big spike up in price, it has been retracing. But I think right now, I mean, it seemed to hang on to this like right at this prior high. Look like that is a very strong support there. So right now, I mean, every time when the price dropped below 11 cents, I've been buying Celer Network like crazy because I love Celer Network. This thing is going to bounce. So right now is a terrific time. See, the sad thing is like sometime for us, when the price run up, we kind of like get fear of missing out. So we jump in and buy it while it's trending up. And when it retraces, we get worried. And some of us decide to sell at a loss. But that's how we lose. I mean, that's how you lose money. The best thing to do is when it's run up like that, just be patient, wait, because it's just a matter of time before it will retrace. And then when it retraces, I mean, just look at the chart. The minute it get near the bottom, I believe that like Celer Network is getting very near bottom right now. This is a good time to accumulate. And if you accumulate now, I mean, I would say in another week or two, you may end up with like 50% or 100% gain. Best time to accumulate. The same thing is like best time to accumulate is right around this point. And if you follow my channel, I mean, that's when I make all this video about like when I accumulate. I mean, I say that in my video. Decentraland is the only project that I've been accumulating, even though right now it is trending up. And the reason I'm accumulating because I believe that it is just beginning on the second wave here. So I've been accumulating this guy. Every time when I see the price drop a little bit, I accumulate. Dale Preston, you own Dogecoin and some Bitcoin mining stocks. Do you think the major governments will embrace Bitcoin or develop their own? China has a negative story every other way. First of all, I mean, China is crazy. I'm not sure what's going on. It seems like every time when they see the market, especially with Bitcoins going up, they have to come out with a negative story. All of the story about like they're banning miners. I mean, that is like an old story. I mean, it's older than my shoes, you know? And they keep on doing that. And every time when the news come out relating to that, it caused some sort of zitter in the market. I mean, it's just because like China is, they are, you know, their economy is huge. But I'm not sure. I think maybe they have some alternative motive. Uh, it's maybe because of they see that in you know like Western countries, especially the U.S., lots of people invest in cryptocurrencies, and every time when they have a negative story about Bitcoin, I mean it caused a big chop, and that really hurt a lot of people. I mean, that is the only thing I can think of. China, I mean, they're very tricky, so I don't know. In terms of like other countries developing their own digital currencies, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, it's really hard. They have to look at it and be able to determine whether or not by developing their own digital currency would that help or hurt. Because right now we already have Bitcoin and so many other cryptos. The U.S., I doubt it. I don't think that the U.S. would eventually. I mean, but like I said, that is just a wild guess. So Brand, it is funny to see people panic and believe every news that come out. That is how people get burned. People can't quite understand that markets have to go through consolidation. You are 110% correct. And that's why I think, I mean, if you follow my channel, I keep on saying that, hey, it's okay. I mean, to watch all those like few good videos on YouTube. I mean, when you watch video from like the major YouTube influencer, like let's say even like Dogecoin. I mean, those guys on Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, every video they come out with is they're saying that it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up. But reality is what? Life, I mean, reality is not like that. Everything go through a wave. It's like a roller coaster ride. And that's why it is really important for retail investors, I mean, to kind of like spend some time, at least learn the basic of charting. And if you have a basic understanding of charting, when you see Bitcoin drop, you don't get nervous and start dumping everything, because that's when you lose money. And having that sort of like basic understanding about charting, it saves you a lot of money because it prevents you from buying, prevent that fear of missing out. I mean, you don't buy when it's going up. And when it, just like for me right now, if you watch my live stream and my video, it the retracement doesn't worry me because why? Bitcoin is still trending up. When Bitcoin dropped below this trend line, then I would be worried. Back around like the April time frame, when I saw this head and shoulder pattern, this is when it worried me that we may see this major retracement. So you are exactly right. I mean, the key thing is like, the problem is like people watching all those pump videos and they kind of like have a very high expectation. I mean, Dogecoin, every retailer I talk to, I mean, 90% of them watch the top three Dogecoins influencers, on YouTube. And most of them, I mean, they just pump it, really. I mean, these guys keep on saying Doge go up to a buck by in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. And the expectation is too high. And when Doge doesn't do that, they get frustrated and they sell what they lost. Morphin, what's up? I got $5 and a button I found in my pocket. What should I buy? Okay, for $5, I will give you my pick right now. Buy Decentraland and just don't think about that $5. By this time next year, you can come back and we can talk. And I believe by this time next year, your $5 would likely be around 15 or $20. So, I mean, if you follow my channel, you know that like in the past, Celer Network, I've been accumulating Celer Network. I mean, like crazy during this when the price was like starting to bounce, and almost like every couple of days I do a video about that. And I am still accumulating Celer when the price dropped to this here because it will bounce. But Decentraland is another project that I'm kind of like getting very excited about. So I've been accumulating. So you $5, Decentraland. Dell, feeling a little insecure over here, joking, but it can be annoying. I mean, you're right. Remember, I mean, it's human nature. Even for me, when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is check your portfolio, and then you see it drop by like 10%. I mean, definitely it's not a good feeling. But like I said, the thing is, it's important that, I mean, if you can learn some basic charting, at least it give you the kind of like warm and fuzzy feeling that, hey, this retracement is healthy, is necessary. Why? Because it's been trending up so much. It's gonna bounce up again. So just kind of like hang tight. That's what it is. You know, there's one guy. There is only. I mean, I watch video from all these guys, BitBoy, everybody. I mean, those influencer, find no stand garbage. I mean, all of that. There's one guy that I watch almost every day, and I encourage everybody to watch. Is this guy here? Let's see here, YouTube. If you want like high quality content about cryptocurrency, this guy, Coin Bureau. I don't know if anybody watching him or not. I think he is the best. He is the number one in terms of like content um, for cryptocurrency. I myself watch him every day because the content that he provides is real, it's facts, no bullshit. So if you, I mean, instead of wasting your time watching like BitBoy, Final, Stanley, all those guys, watch this guy here, Coin Bureau. I mean, you know how I feel about YouTubers. There's only one guy that, to me, he is like a sensei for cryptocurrency because every one of his video is extremely high quality. He does serious research before he make this video. He's not the type of guy that's saying, "Oh, um, what is it like? SpaceX is going to launch those one project, so those coin is going to go up to like $5." Oh, that's bullshit. So watch this guy here, Coin Bureau, because I watch him every day. And seriously, the reason that I get interest in uh, Metaverse, because some of the videos on, I mean, this guy has. So if you're interested in Metaverse, watch these two videos here, the Decentraland and the Sandbox. This guy is very, very, very good. No bullshit. That's what I like. And most other guys, I mean, they're just like just pumping stuff. That's it. I mean, that's why their video is for fun. You watch it, good feeling, but don't base on that and kind of like put your expectation too high. Because when you do that, and when it doesn't come through, then you ended up selling at a loss. And the last thing you want to do is after you sell it, 2 days later, it bows. Let's say for an example, I mean, you sell it when it dropped out about right here. Then the next thing you know is 2 days later, it hit the bottom and it's starting to bow. I mean, I hear that from so many of the people I talk to. So watch Coin Bureau for like real news relating to cryptocurrency. But watch VidMaximum for technical analysis that is easy to understand. ICP is killing me. Man, this thing is like, it seems like ICP, Dogecoin, and Cardano has been really underperformed. Um, well, Scott, one other thing is like you don't have to invest with him. The only thing I do is I just watch his videos. And one of the thing is I do my own research. The reason I like his videos because the content. He does go through and do thorough analysis before he say anything on his video. And one of the thing I like about him is he's constantly saying that, hey, because he has a lot of followers, sometime when he talk about a new crypto, people just go out and buy it without doing any research. He keep on telling everyone that don't do that. Do your own research before you decide to jump in and buy it. So just watch his video. I mean, you don't have to invest with the guy. Brand, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, really, that's the way for them to make money. Um, Morphin, hey, Vidmax, how knowledgeable are you in numerology? It goes hand in hand with the market. Every day has a number from 1 to 9, and it starts over. The days you look out for are day sevens. Morphin, I don't know anything about num, num, numerology. Let me see if I say it right. No, I don't. I think um, just the way that I interpret the chart is enough. And I mean, you follow me. So far, I've been at least 60% right. So you don't see. Here's the thing: if you watch other YouTubers, some of them they get into all these too technical terms, but a lot of them, I would say at least 90% of them, they miss out all of the most important indicators when they do technical analysis. I mean, if you don't believe me, go and watch some of those videos. Most of them, they don't talk about the impact of the Bollinger Band. They don't even talk about the impact of this like moving averages. They don't even talk about the volume. They don't even talk about like the um, stochastic oscillator. I mean, some of them talk about RSI, but the majority of them just look at the candle. And if you just look at the candle by itself, it doesn't tell the whole story. Because the problem is, let's say when you look at like, okay, let's look at like, we've seen like Shiba. All right. Let's say if we take out this critical move indicator, let's say the Bollinger Band. When we look at the candle, we see Shiba drop all the way down to 0.2, which is it bounced right off this prior high and bounce up. Next thing we know is we see a big spike. 90% of the guys doing technical analysis on YouTube And don't get me wrong, I mean, you can check that, verify that, because I do, I mean, glance through. They were predicting another wave up. Why? Because when you look at the candle, that's what the candle is saying. This is a very nice green candle. But if you look at like all the indicators, that's why in my video I said no way. There's no way that like Shiba can have another run up. It's gonna trade sideways for a long time because the Bollinger Band is just too wide. So these are the kind of thing that I mean, to me, it's really important, but they don't. And you don't really need to get into a lot of the complex thing to understand the chart. So for me, when I look at the chart, the most important indicator that I look at is not necessarily the candles. The most important indicator I look at is the volume, because volume tells the whole story. When you have a sudden spike up in volume, there's definitely, I mean, especially it is like blue. No, what is it? This is not blue. This is like green. It's an indication of massive buying. That's when you know that something is going up. I mean, you're going to see a major spike. When you see like a massive red, then you know that there is a problem with the project. People are dumping. When you don't see any volume, then you know that this thing is in consolidation. So even when you see the price drop, if it dropped on low volume, it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, it's just normal. But when the price drop on large volume, then you have to worry because this is an indication that wells or institutional investors, they are dumping. So the volume to me is the most important thing. The second thing is the moving averages. When you look at like charting, I mean, yes, people tend to base on the Fibonacci retracement to determine the support level, or they can determine based on the prior high or prior low as the support level. But the key support level is right at the 10 days, the 50 days, and the 200 days. Those are the most critical. And also one of the things is what? I mean, when you look at this moving average, let's go to Bitcoin. I mean, I just want to prove a point. Let me clear all of this out. Just look at the moving averages. Excuse me. Why the moving average is so critical? So the first is the volume. The second thing is the moving average. Every time, look at this here. Let's go back a little bit. Whenever you see the 10 days, which is the red line is the 10 day, the white line is the 50 days. Whenever you see the 10 days struggle and then drop below the 50 days, expect the price to retrace. I mean, that's what it is here. See, continue to drop as long as the 10-day drop below the 50 days. Don't expect any spike up, regardless of what sort of candle pattern you see. There you see, it continued to retrace. But the minute the 10-day cross over the 50 days, then you see this upward trend. And then when the 10-day drop below the 50-day, expect this retracement. Again, when the 10 days cross over the 50 days, expect the price to spike up. That's why the second most important thing is these moving averages. So when you look at like the volume and the moving averages, I mean, if anybody doing technical analysis and they don't base on these indicators, it's really garbage to me because the candle alone is only, I would say, about 120, about one fourth of what the story is when you analyze the chart. The third thing to me that is very important is the Bollinger Band. I mean, the Bollinger Band is just like really, it tell you when you would expect to see a major pop and when you would expect to see the price retrace. Very simple. I mean, the Bollinger Band is like, I mean, this is a momentum indicator. It tell you when the Bollinger Band is very tight like this, very tight like this, indicating that there's a lot of momentum is being built up. When you have momentum, you have, I mean, the ability for this big spike up. So when you look at it, when you combine like the Bollinger Band with the moving averages, you see the Bollinger Band get very tight, the width very narrow, and then the next thing you see is the 10-day crossover and lead to 50 days. Then you know that you're going to see a major pop in price. This is when you jump in and buy. And then the minute when you start seeing the Bollinger Band get kind of like overextended, just like here, it spike up, and now when you look at the band, it's too wide. Then you expect to see this sort of retracement. So the Bollinger Band can contract, and then momentum can be built up to support another run up. I mean, the best example to illustrate about the Bollinger Band is Solana. When you look at the Solana here, see, very tight, and then the 10-day crossover the 50-day, huge spike up in price. And then the band, look at how wide the width of the band is. It's way overextended. And this is when you don't have any, I mean, there's no momentum left. So this thing is running on like film. Then you have this retracement, consolidation, and then you see the Bollinger Band get tight again. And then the 10-day now pop and lead to 50 days. Then you see this big spike up. And now the Bollinger Band get overextended again. Then you have this retracement. See, that's why the Bollinger Band is critical to consider when you do charting. And the next thing I go through, I mean, I don't use RSI because stochastic oscillator is a lot more accurate than RSI. Let me put RSI here as well. Let me see if I can find RSI, relative strength index. When you look at like RSI, it's one single line. The stochastic oscillator is very much mimicking it, but you have these two lines. Why I like about this, because these two lines, you have the blue line and the red line. Every time when you see the blue line cross over and lead the red line, 99.9%, the price would trend up. I mean, that's what it is. And the minute you see the red line cross over and lead the blue line, then you kind of like expect the price to retrace after that. The RSI doesn't really tell you much of that. So it's important to use this. That's why I don't even care about it. Another indicator that I look at often, but I don't say much in my analysis, is the MAC. Normally what I do is I look for like the diversion or double diversion to tell me when is the likely of the price to either like reverse direction or not. So I mean that's what it is. And after I look at all these indicators, then I look at the combination of these candles. So to me, the candle alone is just like one quarter of the whole picture. And I hate to say this, but that's why a lot of the analysts, I mean not analysts, but chart TA guys, I mean they miss out. So when they predict something could spike up, it doesn't. Why? Because you cannot base on the candles alone. That is my 2 cents. I mean, and that's how I base on most of my analysis. Candle is one thing, but so so I would say like 90% of the video on TA you watch on YouTube, you will see guy doing a lot of like talk about the candle and the pattern, and then they base on the Fibonacci retracement. That's it. I mean, all they do is like, okay, so this thing is right here, and based on the extension is 1.61%. So there's a good probability that the price could run up to about that. I mean, that's what it is. I love Polkadot Blue Beach. I love Polkadot. And for me, less than $40 right now, I'm just accumulating. And you know the way I accumulate. I mean, I accumulate a little bit at a time because right now Bitcoin is still, I mean, my target for Bitcoin is 55,000. And right now Bitcoin is trading at about 56 something. So there's still a chance that Bitcoin can drop more. And when Bitcoin drop more, I mean, Polkadot could potentially drop even more. It may retest this trend line again. So there's a chance that it may go down to, I mean, 32. But it's just great to accumulate because this thing is definitely it's going to bounce up. Great project. If you buy it on Voyager because they pay 12% interest and you don't have to do anything. So that is great way to earn like passive income. Buy it and just leave it there. Get 12% every year. So Polkadot is great. And really between Polkadot and Solana, I prefer Polkadot now. Definitely, it is the time to accumulate Polkadot. When you look at like, I mean, just a rule of thumb here, about 50% retracement, and then from this, yeah, I mean, it's already dropped below 50%. It's right at about 61.8%. So to me, it's a good time to accumulate Polkadot right now. And I can almost guarantee on this, the minute Bitcoin stabilize, you can see Polkadot pop by about 5 or 10%. It's always pop a lot more than Bitcoin. And it's in this like way oversold right now as well. So I do expect some sort of like price relief. I mean, some sort of bounce. Black Sniper, for my favorite crypto YouTubers, Coin Bureau. Like I said, I love Coin Bureau for the crypto news. I think the guy is great. Thank you, Vidmax and Benjamin Cowan. I don't know who that is. Trader Talks. Yeah, I don't know who that is as well. One of the thing, like the thing is like TA technical analysis does not have to be complicated because It is not complicated. It's easy. Either it goes up or it goes down or it goes sideways. But sometimes people tend to make it very difficult to understand because, hey, the same thing is like when you talk to a guy who's an engineer, he tends to use all those buzzwords, make it extremely difficult to understand. It doesn't have to be like that. Yeah, Bitcoin is just like, I went through it. It went up a lot. Right now, it has to go through this retracement. And I mean, if we look at Bitcoin and look at like every time when it dropped down to about right here, all this low here. I mean, you can draw a trend line. Just connect this line. There it is. And extend it. Wait a minute. The best way to do it like this here. What I do is go to like 4 hours. Easy. That is when you determine whether or not. I mean, it's like in a bear market or whatever. Just take all like low point. So I'm gonna extend this low point here. There it is. Cover all the low point and just extend it up to cover all this high point. There. So now what I have is an upward channel. And in an upward channel, you always have it's like test the support and the resistance. Twice it tests the resistance. So now it gets rejected. So it's gonna test this the support. And it's still in this upward channel. So it's gonna bounce again. Dr. Jeffrey Neal, tutor, good to see you back. Where are you right now? Are you still in somewhere in where, Prague or something like that? Carrie, how are you? You're late, Carrie. Last Thanksgiving Day. It's not a crash, it's just a little blip. Let me zoom in here. Let's go to like 1 day. Last Thanksgiving, right here. It's just a healthy retracement. All right, and I want to prove this point again. So if I look at this Thanksgiving, I mean tutor, it's good. Basically, I just take this low point. I mean, I just extend that. There it is. There. So now I got my channel. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Let me might get like that. All right. All right. So that is my upward channel. See, even though I base on just these 2 points and the high point, but it's very accurate. You see, this continue to be an upward channel. So even though we see this like Tudor said a crash, but it's not really a crash. It's more like a healthy retracement and consolidation. And then the minute it tests the support, it bounces right back up. And then when it tests the resistance, you see it retrace. Go up, test the resistance, retrace. So I mean, this is what TA is. I don't even care about the data beyond this point. All I did is just extend. I mean, I just draw these 2 channels. Let me go through it again. That's kind of like prove a point that This is not really a crash. I mean, it's just a healthy retracement. There it is. See? Extend that. There. So when you look at what's happening right now, I mean, the same thing. Let's remove this here. So now we look at the price retracing and we're wondering whether or not this is a crash or not. Just take these two low points, extend it, and then to this high point right here. I mean, extend it up. See, we have this like upward channel, and now it's just part of this like retracement consolidation. It's not a crash, guys. Oh no, there's no death cross. Twix, what is a death cross? All right, let me remove this here. Death cross is this line here. And this is the 200 days moving average. So you have this yellow line. Yellow is a 200 days. And then you have the 50-day, which is the white line. Death cross is when the 50-day, which is the shorter moving average, drop below the longer, which is right here, back around like the mid of June. That was the death cross. What we have here, which is around the first week in September, this is the 50-day crossover and lead the 200 days. This is the golden cross. So right now we are in this golden cross, which is the most bullish signal in technical analysis. So there's no death cross. So right now, the way I see is, I mean, hey, Bitcoin will eventually, I mean, hit my target price at 55, then it will bounce up. And then the next wave would take it to 85. Twix, if you look at the wrong chart, you're going to lose money, my friend. So a retracement like this, for me, it's great. It allowed me to accumulate my favorite coins at a much lower price. Polkadot, love Polkadot. Absolutely, I am buying Polkadot right now. Anything less than 40 bucks is a great buy. Because I do believe within the next couple of days or so, you're probably not going to be able to buy it at that price. Polkadot is a good buy. Celer Network is another good buy. And I've been aggressively accumulating Decentraland. Even though Decentraland has been trending up. But like I said, I believe Decentraland has, huge potential. I expect this thing here. I mean, right now the market cap is about 6 billion. I expect Decentraland to be trading at least 40, 50 billion within the next 3 to 5 years, or even higher. So I'm looking at Decentraland, I mean, at 30 bucks, 40 bucks, or even more, in the next few years. This is seems like the trend right now. So yeah, I mean, Tudor, yes. I mean, Polkadot is great. But get into Metaverse. I mean, right after Facebook make a big fuss about changing the name, all the attention on this guy. That's why, if you look at yesterday, Bitcoin was trending down like crazy, but this guy continued to trend up. And I was looking at the chart. I mean, he is setting up for the second wave. Look at how nice the Bollinger Band is like forming. Look at this. It kind of like remind me of Shiba when it was forming the second wave. I mean, look at Shiba here. There. Look at Shiba. See this? And then the second wave. And go back to Decentraland or Mana. Same thing. That's what I'm seeing. Very nice Bollinger Form. And now you're starting to see the band starting to kind of like expand right now. I expect Decentraland to move up later on today and tomorrow. So Decentraland, I mean, I will continue to buy this guy until at least he hit the prior high at $5, and then I will slow down and wait. So I mean, this guy I'm not gonna sell for a while because I believe that he may be very volatile, but the future is very bright. And if you want to know more about Decentraland, go to Coin Bureau and watch his video on Decentraland that he uploaded 7 days ago. After you watch that, go to their website and try and then verify what he say, because I think this guy has the best news, I mean crypto news on the web. He is the only guy that I watch. So the Shiba community probably have to wait for a while before we see Shiba move again. I mean, he's going to be boring for a long time. Those, I think those may be a little bit boring until near the end of the year, because SpaceX Doge One project, that is one of the big catalysts, and that would probably happen around the first quarter in 2022. So, and also looking at this chart, I mean, Doge right now it re-entered this symmetrical triangle. So if we look at the timeline, I mean, it's very much until around December that when it entered this like apex. So we're gonna see either like a upward movement or a breakdown. I'm kind of like still betting for this uptrend. I mean, well, we'll probably run Dogecoin again. But the future for Dogecoin after this run up, to be honest, I don't know. Because Dogecoin needs both the wealth and retail investors. But right now, it seems like, I mean, Dogecoin is losing retail investors because it's been kind of like trading sideways for such a long time. And first time retailer is kind of like losing patience. And that is hurting Dogecoin. Jeffrey Neal, have you checked out a University of Chile football token? No, I haven't. I haven't. For the past few days, I've been spending a lot of time trying to understand the metaverse, and that's why I mean I look at like so many different projects, and that's why I kind of like zero in on the Decentraland and the Sandbox. DT King. No, I'm still trading stock options every day. It's just like I've been so busy, to upload video on OptionsZilla. Yeah, the last week I did really well trading SC stock options. It's just like it's so hard. I mean, to do video. What I need to do is like I don't know. I have to start a group on Discord. That way, it's a lot easier. Because making a video, I mean, editing it and all that stuff, it's takes a lot of time. But I will do that again. Lord of the Rings. All those are games, and play to earns right now is doing well. Engine Coin is doing well because of that. Gala did really well the last couple of days because of it got listed on Coinbase. But for me, instead of like putting money on Gala, I put money on Mana because I think Mana is has the potential to be huge. I mean, hey, virtual reality, virtual world, metaverse. I don't see why, in 3 or 5 years, why this thing cannot trade at over 100 billion. I don't see why not. It's getting so popular right now. The crazy thing is you have real Fortune 500 companies are buying plot of virtual lands on Decentraland. Let's just quickly go through that because I was look at Decentraland news. Yeah, I mean you read some really crazy stuff here. Okay, look at this here. Barbados to establish a virtual embassy within Decentraland. I mean, crazy, isn't it? And the thing is, once you have, I mean, one country like that, I mean, they will follow. And it's not cheap to buy this like plots of land on. Let's see here. Okay, company companies with virtual lands, Decentraland, Decentraland. Do I say it right? Decentraland. Yeah. There are like a whole bunch of company. I mean, let's see if I can. See, even Disney is announcing like metaverse plan. Yeah, I don't remember, but there's a whole bunch of companies that already bought virtual lands on. You see, I was right. I mean, I expect like Decentraland to run up early today. I mean, while we were live streaming, it was down. It was down to about, let's see here. Earlier this morning, it dropped down to this point, which is let's see, right at 329, and now it's already at 358, and it's up because this guy is continuing the second wave here. I mean, temporarily dropped because of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin dropped, they all dropped. The minute Bitcoin stabilized, I mean, he's going to move. That's it. And when you look at Bitcoin, I bet Bitcoin stabilizing. Yeah, Bitcoin dropped all the way down to this here. wow, it's dropped very close to my target too, but it's bouncing up. Let's see here. 56.5. It dropped as low as 56.5. Now it's starting to bounce up. Right now it is 57.9. So here's the thing. That is what nice about this project. I mean, the minute Bitcoin stabilize, these guys will bounce up. Well, Crow. I have some Crow, and I saw it last night. Okay, Crow has been running up. I do believe because like they were announcing that they would burn a whole bunch of them, and then they they negotiated with the Staples Center, which is like the Staples Center host the Lakers a couple of days ago. Now they renamed Staples Center to Crypto.com, and that deal was like 700 million for 20 years, and that caused Crow to run up. Crow, yeah, on naming news, and prior to that, because I got an email from Crypto.com, but I think, I mean, again, looking at like Crow right now, the reason I sold it yesterday because it's way overextended right now. So I do expect Crow to starting to retrace and consolidate. Uh, 60 cent is probably the highest for this run up because the news about Stable Center is already out. I mean, it's already baked into the price. And looking at this combination of this candle, I mean, you have this inverted hammer here. It ran up, but then you have a lot of people selling. That drove the price down. So when it closed, I mean, it's this inverted hammer. And now Crow is trending down. So I believe that, I mean, the most it probably get to for this run up is 60 cent. And when you look at it, 60 cent, I mean, that's a lot. It ran up from about 15 cent all the way to 60 cent. That's 4x. And Crow is just a utility coin for like crypto.com. So, but I make really good money on this as well. I mean, after I sold it, I bought like Decentraland. Oh, Jeff, I mean, I agree with your statement. Don't you think that means the whales believe in the market and recognize the breakdown of fiat? Yes, Jeffrey. I mean, it went up 50% yesterday after the news from Staples Center. And then I saw it like right at around this point here. I saw it at like 53 or 50, around 53 cents. Because all the good news is already baked in. I mean, Crow now is definitely, it has to go through this normal retracement and consolidation. I mean, look at the Bollinger Band, way overextended. So I don't expect to see Crow move higher than 60 cents. And it's very likely that I can buy, if I want to, buy Crow back right at around like the 30 cents. I mean, that's part of this because if we just base on a normal rule of thumb for this sort of like retracement, at 50% retracement is about 36 cents. At 61.8% is about 31 cents. So I do expect Crow to drop down to this level and consolidate around this level here. But crypto is definitely, I mean, it's not going to go away. And another thing, I still believe that we are still in this like early stage of crypto. So it has a lot more room to run up. The altcoin would likely run up a lot more than Bitcoin, just because the market cap of Bitcoin is just so big right now. Ethereum would run up as well, but I don't believe that Ethereum, in terms of the percentage of gain, can run up more than, let's say, like the Avalanche, the Polkadot, the Solana. And that's why, I mean, I love Polkadot right now. Anything less than $40 is great. So right now, I mean, it's 39.60 now. Very soon we may not be able to get Polkadot at below 40. And the nice thing is, like, I mean, Polkadot, and I know I've been repeating this, but if you are looking for like passive income, and if you don't have an account with Voyager, set up an account with Voyager and buy Polkadot there, because they pay 12% interest a year, and you don't really have to do anything. You don't have to stake it. I mean, as long as you have an account with Voyager, you got 12%. And if you look at Polkadot, I remember the first time that I did a video about Polkadot, when I introduced Polkadot, it was trading at like $23. And since then, I mean, we have this sort of like really nice run up in price on top of getting 12%. Can't beat that. Oh, Polkadot, I mean, in the near term, my near term target is $58. But after that, it should be, oh, I mean, just buy Polkadot and leave it there. Get 12% interest. I think crypto.com pay, I don't know, less than Voyager. Let me see here. I'm checking Voyager right now, and it's still paying 12%. Because I have a whole bunch of dots on Voyager. Yes, they are paying 12%. And all you need is a regular monthly average of $20 on that. So, I mean, why put money in the bank when you put it on Polkadot and get 12%? You see, with Crow, you have to leave it there for 3 months. With Voyager, you can sell tomorrow if you don't want it. But if you keep it for the whole month, then they pay you. Tutor, yeah. For me, anything less than $40, it's a gift. Buy it on Voyager. Get 12%. All right, let's see here. Xavier NKN. NKN is still in this uptrend, and I am still believe in my target price of $1.35. I mean, if you watch the video I uploaded. But right now, when we see NKN or any other coins down because Bitcoin is down, that's what it is. The minute Bitcoin stabilize, you're gonna see NKN pop. The thing I like about NKN is every time when it pop, you see it pop by 40%, 60%. That's what you're gonna see with NKN. Jeffrey, no, it's 6%. Are you talking about crypto.com or are you talking about Voyager? I'm looking at Voyager right now. It's 12%. Let's talk about Ethereum Classic. I still remember around around like the May time frame when Ethereum Classic was trading at around like 60 or 70. I was very gung-ho on Ethereum Classic as well. Because at that time, smaller blockchain projects like AVAX, um, Polkadot, Solana wasn't that popular. So my thinking was that given the fact that Ethereum Classic is pretty much being the twin of Ethereum, this is like the ugly twin. People would use this blockchain instead of Ethereum because it's cheaper. So I was really gung ho on Ethereum Classic as well. But the problem is right now, it seems like the attention is being put on the newer blockchain projects like Polkadot, Solana, Avalanche. People are tending to kind of like forget about Ethereum Classic right now. So even when we look at like the chart, Ethereum was kind of like trending within the symmetric triangle. So far, I mean, the price seemed to break down. So I am losing hope for Ethereum Classic right now. So that is my 2 cents about Ethereum Classic. And I haven't do a video about this, but about 3 weeks ago, I saw Ethereum. I saw Ethereum Classic, and I put it on Celer Network. So that is Ethereum Classic. I think this is like, I hate to say this, it's like the forgotten project right now because before that, it was an alternative to Ethereum. Right now, Polkadot, Solana are the two big names, and Avalanche getting all the attention. And that's the problem. So I am out of Ethereum Classics right now. But I put it on Celer Network because I know Celer will bounce. But it's going to be tough to see this guy bounce. Even if he bounce, I don't know how much he's going to bounce. Because think of this way here. I haven't seen any new projects that are on the Ethereum Classic blockchain yet. Most is either on Binance or on Polkadot or on Solana or on Ethereum. Yeah, oh my God, Sandbox. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I went through this earlier because it crossed over this like prior high, so it's pumping. But I'm not buying this guy because, like I said, around December or late December, millions of tokens are going to be unlocked. So the development team, I mean, they have a lot of tokens that they can put into circulation, and that could cause the price to drop. I like Mana better because Mana is just on the verge of the second wave. I mean, this guy is already in the second wave right now because he crossed over that. Mana is just beginning. Mana is up right now. I believe Mana is going to run. So, I mean, that's why I think right now Metaverse is great. Two projects that I love, the Decentraland and the Sandbox. I am not going to get into the Sandbox until like late December. I really want to see what happened to the price after all those tokens are unlocked. I mean, will the development team starting to cash out? And if they do cash out, it's going to put some pressure on the Sandbox. Another thing is, right now the market cap for the Sandbox is lower than uh, Metaverse, and that's why market cap. That's why we see this big pump. All right, let's look at the Sandbox right now. The market cap is hitting 4 billion right now. I mean, it was at around like 2 or 3 billion. That's why we see that's a huge spike up. And compare that to Mana. Mana is at 6.5 billion. So the Sandbox is getting close to this market cap now. But I do believe that Decentraland is a much better project. So my target for this second wave is 7.5, $7.50. Engine coin is a great coin, yeah. Yeah, I mean, same thing with me, Black Sniper. I mean, I will wait until late December just to see what sort of price uh, it's going to be. And like it or not, when you look at the Sandbox, let me do this here. Like it or not, after this year, the Sandbox would have to retrace and consolidate. And that why I think around like late December would be a good time to accumulate. Definitely don't want to buy it now. And it could run out. I mean, let's see here. If we just base on some quick extension here, I mean around 1.68 to 2 times. So we look at the potential for it to run to between like 5.5 to $6, and then we're gonna see this retrace. Assuming if it run to about $6, retracement would likely take it down to about $4.15 or even $4. So that's what I think. So if I wait until it retraces, I can get it at below the price it is right now. And another way to do is just kind of like verify it. Look at this sort of like, yeah. I mean, looking at this here, it's getting very close to the resistance of this upward channel as well. So, I mean, the minute it hit this resistance, it may cross over a little bit, but most likely we're going to see this retrace. And it would begin this retracement and consolidations. So the best time to do is that. So don't get like this. I mean, for me, the fear of missing out on the sandbox, because if you jump in while it's trending up, I mean, when it retraces, that's when you have problem. And I mean, if you look at this guy here, he been running up from less than $1, just like 3 weeks ago. Right now it's 4.5, so that's a very hefty increase. Mana is pumping right now. It's starting to go up, and there it is, starting to ride the upper band of this Bollinger Band here. All we need is Bitcoin to stabilize. Yeah, Bitcoin is like moving up a little bit right now. It's trading at 57. If Bitcoin can go up to about like 58,000 or more, then Mana will do really well. Let me do a quick survey here. Who is still accumulating Dogecoin? Or two questions. Who is still buying Dogecoin? That's the first question. The second question is, who sold Dogecoin? I just want to see kind of like, Jeffrey, the problem with like having the buy or sell signals, I would get into trouble with you too. So, I mean, I'm thinking about like, that's why the only thing that I can do is like either like through the uh, Patreon page or something like that. Because with YouTube, I mean, they are very strict on like anything relating to like trying to encourage or discourage people to invest or buy. They could get me in trouble. That's why if you look at my video, I'm very careful about saying like, I mean, when I'm selling or when I'm buying. YouTube got me for a while. I mean, somebody flagged my channel about like, so Blue Beach still holding. Brand, okay, you saw. Who else? Who else is still holding Dogecoin? I just want to kind of like have a quick survey here. James, you're late. Morphin, you bought those just 40 cents. Eh? Oh yeah, I mean Black Sniper. If you saw it back in July, and if you bought Engine and the Solana, well, Solana is I was very gung ho on Solana. Remember when Solana ran up to about like 200 and then retraced, dropped out to about 130, 128. I mean, I did like a couple of video almost every day about like accumulating Solana until 160. Jeffrey, I bought about 2 grand of those last 2 weeks. That's what I said before. I think that the next catalyst for Dogecoin is probably when the SpaceX Doge One project, and that supposedly scheduled for like the first quarter of 2022. So if we look at the chart for Dogecoin right now, I mean Dogecoin now is inside the symmetrical triangle, and around like the first or the second week in December, that's when it would be likely in this apex here. So we'll likely see something happen by then. It's really interesting because Dogecoin and Cardano was pretty big back around April. Cardano has been, it's still in this uptrend. I still believe in Cardano, and if we look at Cardano, I mean, it's still in this uptrend, and it's getting very close to, I mean, testing the support of this upward channel, and I do expect to see Cardano bounce. We've seen that with Cardano back around the June, July timeframe. It was trading sideways for such a long time. And then after that, we saw this big pop. So I'm still holding my Cardano and I'm still accumulating. Less than $2 to me is still great. I mean, it's a great project. It will bounce. And I know, I mean, Cardano, quite a few people get really frustrated at Cardano. But sometimes we have very short memory because Cardano ran. Look at Cardano. I mean, it's if we look at this chart, the whole year, it was trading at about like 20 cents at the beginning of the year, ran up to 240, retraced to about $1, ran up to 310, and now it is retracing. So it's really much. I mean, just oscillate within this upward channel here. It's going to bounce up. I believe that. So I am still, buying and holding my Cardano. That's good. Mhm. But I think like starting now until early next year, Metaverse is the thing. I mean, it's definitely that's the trend. Black Sniper, true. When I first got into crypto, it was because of Doge, but after SNL crash, I've started doing more research, and that's when I bought Solana and Engine, considering very good. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, seriously, I love to see something like that when I mean from my subscribers. Same thing with me. I first got into crypto with Doge, but since then I have been a lot more diverse right now. The key thing is even one thing about with like meme coins, sometimes you have to be very, very careful with that. You gotta make sure that whatever project you invest in has to have some sort of like utility. Don't invest just because you see that they run the price up. Otherwise, you may end up with upcoin. VChange is a great project. Yes. I mean, VChange still has a lot of potential. But just like anything else, it goes through wave. And when I look at VChange, and when people get disappointed when they haven't seen VChange running up, what they need to do is really look at this chart. At the beginning of this year, VChange was trading at 2 pennies. And now, even with this retracement, it is at like 13 cents. I mean, that is still a hefty return. But I guess like we kind of like get a little bit. Thank you, Tudor. You live in real verse, but put some money into Metaverse. That's 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 going to be the next big thing. Put $5 into like mana, and just leave it there. Next year, it may buy you dinner. Talk about meme coin. I think during the last live streaming session, I talked about this thing called Doge Dash. Okay, look at that. I have some money into that because I think it has some potential. This is also one of those like fun play to earn project. It has this like healthy run up because they will be launching the game in December. It ran up to about like zero point 0.3, and now it's retracing. I mean, everything is retracing, but it seemed like it kind of like bottom at around like 0.17. That's the last time it dropped out to. So I've been buying this thing as well. Doge Dash. Grab you cat 22. I love you, constant swipe at Upcoin. Funny how he's back with a new name. I knew that guy was sketchy. Still, here's the thing. Grab your cat when you are like sleazy like that. I mean, corn. I mean, that's what he did. He pulled a rug, and I know many people lost money because of that. It's not right. That's it. I don't even care what new names he come up with. He's still the same guy. The minute I lose trust in the guy, see, it's funny because in the beginning, I know many of like the subscriber was asking me to collaborate with the guy on a live stream, and I was ready to do that. I'm glad I didn't because otherwise, I mean, I would look really shitty. Collaborate with somebody like that. I mean, the guy definitely has very thick skin to be able to come back and act like there's nothing after that happened. It's just not right. And I want to make sure people don't lose money again. Yeah, mana is Decentraland is pumping now. I mean, it's. So Morphin, did you put $5 on Decentraland, man? Did you put your $5 on Decentraland? Yeah, look like Decentraland is. Let's see if Decentraland can cross over the prior high here. Then Morphin go into next year. But then you have to clean like the toilet, the room, and everything else, and then then it would move up. Oh, that's really nice. You are well. I want to continue to accumulate more of this like mana here. I want this thing to be at least about like 15% of my portfolio. Right now it's about like less than 5%. And then what I want to do is wait until late December, and then kind of like diversify that by adding some the Sandbox. Carrie, are you still watching? Jeffrey, I don't smoke. I drink, but I don't smoke. All right, I'll see you now. Late night special, huh? No, actually, it's 10:13 a.m. right now. What time is it in Pakistan, Pac-Man? The Sandbox is up 15%, but Mana is running up as well. Um, Man, SC has been running up like crazy. SC, I've been following SC this week. Just wait until I see a sign. So I'm gonna short him. I'm gonna buy put option. He's been running up so much. He's gonna do for a healthy retracement. Bob Herman, any news on BitTorrent? Well, BitTorrent is very much. I mean, right now it is kind of like sideways, but there is definitely. I mean, look at the chart. It looked very promising. Even though, I mean, you guys may say, man, you know what Maxim is talking about? This thing is dropping like a fly. But if I'm looking at the chart here, we see that the 50 days is about to cross over. I mean, the white line is about to cross over the yellow line. The yellow is 200, white is 50. So we are looking at a golden cross very soon. I still believe that BitTorrent will spike up big time after this really unusual volume in terms of accumulation. So, I mean, the chart is still okay. It hasn't spiked up as quick as I like, but it will. I mean, that's how I see it. And I'll probably do a detailed analysis video either today or tomorrow. I mean, when you look at this like golden cross here, I mean, the last time that we've seen something like that happen was back around February of this year. And after that, we have this major spike up in price. So I am counting on the fact that this is about to happen. Let me zoom in. Just another few days here. We see this gonna be that. And on top of that, there's an unusual volume accumulation. So so right now, I mean, just hang tight. Carrie, I'm still on. Carrie, I know you've been asking questions about the Decentraland on Mana. So are you happy now? I mean, I'm starting to cover Mana. Mana is my favorite right now. I hope you haven't sell the Decentraland, Carrie, because it's about to go on the second wave, I think. Bob Herman, you're welcome. I do appreciate reading your comments on my video. By the way, people, when you watch my video, please leave a comment. I appreciate that. Carrie, no problem, no problem. I mean, I didn't schedule to go online today. It's just like when I see Bitcoin drop so much. Normally, that's when I showed up. Just kind of like, you bought three. That's nice. At 20 cents? That's very nice. 20 cents. I've been buying it, my price is like at 320, 330, and I've been accumulating. For me right now, even though the price is like a 3 something, I will continue to accumulate until the price hit the prior high, all-time high at $5. So my target max to acquire Decentraland is until $5. So I will continue to accumulate until after $5, then I stop. Because I believe Decentraland will have a lot of room to run up. My target for the second wave here is 750. Axie Infinity, Play to Earn, Metaverse. I mean, I've been talking a lot about Decentraland today. I think this thing here has the potential to be bigger than Axie because of the structure behind it. I mean, I don't see this guy cannot be anywhere. I mean, like 100 billion or more in 3 or 4 years from now. It just gets bigger and bigger. So this is one that I will continue to accumulate, and let's just leave it there. Everything down because Bitcoin is down, and Bitcoin is down because it's been going up so much. So this is just a normal retracement. Let's not worry about it. And the minute Bitcoin stabilize, I mean, we'll see like altcoin like Polkadot might pop by 5% the minute Bitcoin stabilize. No, Bitcoin is definitely not in trouble. I mean, it's just going through this normal consolidation. I mean, the trend is still uptrend, and that's why if you watch my video, my target is for Bitcoin to drop down to about 55,000, and then bounce back up. So for me, right now is a great time, and Polkadot is one that I've been accumulating. Beside Decentraland. I mean, Polkadot is another project that I love. Polkadot and Celer Network. Because Polkadot earning 12% interest is great. And then this thing definitely has potential. Just see how very healthy he is in terms of like moving up. I don't believe that Bitcoin is in trouble. I mean, it's not like back in May though. This is very normal. Very normal. Still uptrend. The only thing I'm concerned about is really, I mean, it's Dogecoin. It's just like absolutely there's no value at all. We need the well to come back and pump Doge. Hopefully, sometime in the middle of December, when this thing is getting near the apex, and also that is right before the um, what is it like the SpaceX Doge One project? That's around like that's scheduled for the first quarter in 2022. Hopefully, at that point, we may see this pump. But Doge is definitely very disappointing. I'm gonna buy some more mana right now. Gotta get it before it get over $5. All right, everyone, have faith. I don't think that we're in a bear market or anything like that. Bitcoin retracing, it's just normal, healthy consolidations so that it can build enough momentum for the next run up in price. And my target for the next wave up is at 85,000. And I think the 85,000 would be likely around the first quarter of 2022. I've been saying this before. I don't believe that Bitcoin can run up to 100,000 by the end of this year, and I will. I mean, I'm sticking by that. But 85,000, the first quarter in 2022 is definitely possible. Um, for me right now, with this retracement, it's a perfect opportunity to accumulate your favorite altcoins. And for me, right now, what I love is Polkadot. That's the first thing. Because of the interest that Voyager paid, passive income. And Polkadot is a great project. It continued to trend up. And I've been accumulating that. My target is at $40, but it looks like it's gonna hit over $40 very soon. And the second thing is Celer Network. I know people has been very frustrated with Celer, but I think right now at the price Celer is, it's a bargain. So Polkadot and Celer, and finally Metaverse, Decentraland. Even though Decentraland is not cheap, I mean it's running out. But this guy has a lot of potential to run up even much more. I mean this all of the hype about like Metaverse right now and Decentraland. I think he's probably going to be the biggest project of all. So this guy I will continue to accumulate until $5. I hope that I can get at least about 15% or even 20% of my portfolio in Metaverse, and that would be a combination of Decentraland and the Sandbox. But I'm not buying the Sandbox right now because Sandbox already ran up so much. Number one. Number two, the news that I heard is late December. That's when the unlock period for the development team. Um, that's when they can unlock a whole bunch of their coins. So there's always a chance that these guys may decide to cash out, and that would definitely impact the price of the Sandbox. So I would likely wait until after that to get in, but I want to own both the Sandbox and Decentraland. Decentraland, I mean, I seriously believe that the minute Bitcoin stabilizes, he's gonna pop. I mean, he's setting up for this like second wave very nicely. So Metaverse is going to be big. Um, I like Axie Infinity game, play to earn game, and that's why I like this project here. I mean, it has a lot of potential. But anyway, um, I'm glad that some of you can join me this morning. It's unexpected, but normally, when the market is down really bad, I mean, that's when I try to go online. I mean, I know when the market is down, everybody's wondering what the heck is going on. But all I can say is based on what I see on this chart, uh, really, I mean, this is a healthy retracement. It's not like something that bothered me. Right now, it's a good opportunity to accumulate the coins that you miss out. So that's what I think. Um, but anyway, have a great day. I think I have to call it the day, and then maybe I'll see you guys next Monday. Normally, I try to go online around 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Monday. So have a good day, everybody. Hang tight, and don't worry.